Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi guys. Ben Whittaker is officially signed to Matchroom, and for his first ever fight, he is taking on Benjamin GAVAZI. Now, I know the backlash is absolutely insane because Ben Whittaker, right now he has a lot of momentum because his recent performances are absolutely insane, and like making such a huge deal by signing with Matchroom. Everyone's that got all of us excited, right? Because like now the big money fights, like the world title fights are supposed to come now, but he is taking on, I would say, a pretty unknown name in Benjamin Gavezi, though he is an undefeated fighter and has a pretty good record if you actually see it. The thing about the problem that I have with this is, like, yeah, obviously Ben Whittaker's fighting is a big deal, but still, like at this level, like I don't think he really should fight like these types of like no name, some would say, like, because like we are expecting the world title matches and he is doing this type of shit. But more than anything, it's still exciting because if you think about it, almost every single fighter when they are signed into a big promotion like Matchroom, Queensbury, Golden Boy, etc., like they, for their first few fights, they do a warm up type fight, like for their first few fights they obviously, it's kind of like obvious cherry picking, like they are cherry picking but in a very obvious way, like everyone can tell, like, yeah, this guy, he's gonna get knocked out easily. Like then an undefeated fighter gone, because we all know and we have seen how good Ben Whittaker is. Now, I also want to mention Eddie Hearn, right? Because in the press conference, Eddie was absolutely insane. Because and yeah, I feel like this is like a perfect this is like the dynamic situation here is perfect because Ben Whittaker, he is an absolute loudmouth, and in the same hand we also have Eddie Hearn, who is obviously very very infamous for backing up his fighters in any situation. And the most famous incident is obviously Conor Ben in his first fight and second fight against Chris Eubank Jr. So yeah, I feel like Matchroom is on fire now. Ben Whittaker is on fire because this is just like the perfect duo for anyone. And yeah, I really feel like like the press conference was pretty good because Ben was doing what he usually does, trying to get into his opponent's head. But though I don't think like in this fight it won't matter as much just because his opponent is like such low level fighter. But let's just think about this, right? If Benjamin Gavazi somehow beats Ben Whittaker, obviously we know that's not gonna happen, but if it happens, if it somehow happens, just think about the embarrassment Ben Whittaker, Eddie, and they will have to pay. Just think about, like, if he can somehow manage to pull off, he's obviously a huge underdog going to this fight, but if he somehow just pulls it off, we've seen it previously with David. I apologize for getting his name. I think it's Dave Allen. Yeah, we've seen it previously with Dave Allen. The past week, against that Russian guy, and also Johnny Fisher in his most recent rematch. Those fights, like Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher, they were supposed to easily destroy their opponents, their respective opponents, because like they, like on paper they were way better and much they were much more, what can I say, like much more common names, like they were much famous people compared to them as far as promo goes. But we obviously saw the fights and we now know, like just hype cannot win you the actual fight itself. Though I think this would be an easy knockout for Ben Whittaker because like Ben is a very flashy and fast fighter. I do think there's just a split chance, just because what we've seen in the past few weeks, that Benjamin somehow gets the win over Ben Whittaker. Though I feel like as the rounds go on, we've seen how improved Ben Whittaker is these days, and I feel like the more the rounds, like the more the rounds go by, the faster and better Ben Whittaker will look inside the ring. And yeah, I'm just excited for the future of Ben Whittaker actually, because like Matchroom is like one of the best promotions you can sign to, just because like all the privileges that I said, because like it's absolutely insane. And to be honest, like I cannot be more hyped for the future of Ben Whittaker, because he was a really young and hungry prospect, but now he has actually proven to be like an actual contender, like an actual hungry contender. And like this guy, he won't probably even stand a chance against Ben, but we'll see how he does in the future. Anyways, super excited for this, though not for this fight specifically. You guys definitely make sure to know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.